Hey guys, welcome back to AF Farms for this guide to bees. Let's begin. Alright, so what we've got here is a selection of in-game beehives. So we've got the one Langstroth hive here. We've got the 4 Langstroth hive here. We've got the elongated hive. We've got the 10 Langstroth, and we've got the 33 Langstroth. Okay, beehives that you can purchase in-game. Alright, so to find them, you need to go to animals, navigate over to the bee section, and then we've got the hives listed here and their prices. Basically, all you really need to know about these is the smaller the hive, the smaller the radius. So you can see they have a range there in the top and the bottom right hand corner of 25 meters. So we'll go and demonstrate that in a little bit. But basically, each of these hives will produce more honey the larger they get, right up until the 33 Langstroth, which is here. It's got a larger range. Okay, now why would you want to worry about the range? So all right, let's take a look at the in-game help menu. So bees, food not required, product honey. Beehives produce honey which can be processed further or sold directly. Place your beehives next to fields, as the bees will increase the yield of canola, sunflower and potato. Honey will be delivered to the freely placeable delivery area. Bees do not appear in the animal menu. Okay, so that's the basics of bees. All right, so essentially what you have to do is you basically place the beehives down. If you're going to place them next to any of those aforementioned crops, you'll get a small yield bonus, but the main benefit to these guys is the honey that they produce. Okay, so basically once you place a hive down, we need to place a spawn point for the honey. So what I'm going to do quickly is I'll demonstrate that. So if we come into animals, over to bees. Now this in the base game, we've got the beehive honey pallet location for $200, and that's this one here. So if we place that down, you're only allowed one item per farm, and what will happen here is the honey will spawn into this location. Okay, so all these hives over here, and we've got some hives further away on the map which we'll go and have a look at in a second, but all these hives will contribute to producing honey into this spawn point. Now each hive will produce more honey based on its size, but we'll get into that in a little bit as well. But what we'll do now is we'll sleep for one day, and then we'll come back and we'll check on how much honey has spawned. All right, here we are. So we've got our first pallet will spawn. So basically this square will facilitate one pallet, and one pallet is 400 liters of honey, 640 kilograms. So we need to grab our forklift. So let's go and grab that. All right, so here we are with the forklift. So let's just go and grab this pallet. And what I want to do is I want to see if another pallet will spawn straight away. So generally what will happen, so because we've just placed these, oh there we go, so we've got another one spawn in its place. So basically depending on how many you've got and what their production rate, basically it's kind of an invisible inventory. The honey pellets will store, so there's nowhere to really view them. Okay, so there's nowhere to view them, but they will get stored in the cloud, for lack of a better description. So you can see there we've got 3 pallets already. So essentially what will happen is there will come a point where the honey will stop spawning. So what we are witnessing is yesterday's honey production, or honey production over the last 24 hours. So here we go, this is 4 pallets. And if we look at so it looks like a partial pallet we've got now, so not quite 400. So I'm going to take it off anyway, just to demonstrate. And we'll do a bit of a quick head count. So this looks like a 278 liters, so just a little bit short. Okay, now if we just watch this momentarily, so I'm going to speed up time a couple of minutes. So you can basically see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's say half, 4.5 pallets from these beehives, and the ones over in another area, which I'll show you shortly. But basically all that means is the more beehives you have, the more honey you will be able to produce. Okay, so that is, and I've got a spreadsheet as well. I'll run through the figures on that as well, so how much they produce, what that looks like. All right, here we are for our range test and demonstration. So what I've done is I've placed a central beehive. So we've gone the 1 Langstroth beehive. This is the smallest and cheapest of the beehives available. And what we've done here is we've marked out a bit of a grid. So from the center, right, it goes out to the left, to the right, and up and down in 10-meter increments. Okay, so I've measured out 10 meters using the GPS coordinates in game to signify the radius, if you will, or the area of effect of each beehive. So what we'll do is we'll quickly recap the amount of range. So this one will do 25 meters. Okay, so this is basically 25 meters from here to here. So just to demonstrate, so the one Langstroth will cover this sort of width of area. Okay, now moving out a little bit further, we've got the the 4 Langstroth. So that's that one there, 50 meters, elongated 75. Then we've got the 10 Langstroth, which is 100 meters. And then we've got the 33 Langstroth, which is 150. Okay. So basically, if we take a look at each one, so the 4 Langstroth, so from the center point, will give you an area of effect of about from here to about here. Okay. So you can sort of see that's roughly 50 meters. Because the way we've graduated this is we've got 10 meters here, plus another 10 is 20, and then 30 would be here. So 25 would be halfway between 20 and 30, as you can see. So if you just sort of if we zoom out a little bit further, you'll see it's a little bit hard on console with the build mode because it does obscure the view a little bit. But you kind of see it's a fairly big distance. So that's for the 4 Langstroth. So the elongated, which is this one here, so it is 75, I believe. So it's 75 meters from here to the adjacent Langstroth, which is there. Okay, so I'll just zoom back out so you can see that from the center. So a pretty big area of effect for the field. Moving along, we've got the, what is this one? This is the 10 Langstroth, so 100 meters. So basically, if we count out the graduations, we've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So 50 either side. So 50 this way, 50 that way, and then 50 up this way. You can sort of see the graduations going north and south as well. So you can kind of see, if I tilt the camera around this way a little bit, you can sort of see the area effect on the 10 Langstroth, and then finally the 33, which is the big guy, so 150. So it's 150 meters from here to there. Okay. Now basically the way we count this out is if we go 75 meters each way, so 1, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and then 75 would be halfway, and then 75 and 75 would give you the 150. Okay, so from the center point all the way down and all the way up. So pretty, so if I zoom in a little bit, you can sort of see they're quite prominent, so you can get a bit of a visual of how they would interact with the fields. So basically, as an example here, I've kind of projected the line out a little bit further, but it basically would come in from this point 75 meters into this field. So it's an invisible area of effect, but that's kind of the amount of area that it will cover. Alright, so how much do these beehives produce in honey in volume, and what's the return on investment for that honey? Okay, so basically the one Langstroth has a range of 25 meters, we've already talked about it. In a 12-month cycle, so 1 day months, so 1 day seasons, if you will, base game settings, it'll produce 299 litres of honey, and it will net you a value of $994, assuming best price of $3,325 per 1,000 litres. Okay, so basically one hive will pay itself off in 1 month, one 12-month cycle, and you'll basically break even. Okay, so I've got a spreadsheet here, I'll throw it up on the screen. The 4 Langstroth, which is this one here, so it produced 1,237 litres of honey, and it made a return of 4,113. So you had a initial cost of 4,400 to place this hive. So once again, after 12 months, it's paid for. The elongated, so it's a bit of a trend, as you're about to find out. So this produced 1,593 litres of honey in 1 year. And it, based on the best price, paid us back $5,296. So a little bit short of the 6,600. The 6,600 to place it in the first place, but very close to breaking even. This hive here, the 10 Langstroth, so it was 2,968 litres of honey for the year, assuming best price of 3,325 per 1,000 litres, gave us a return of 9,868. Okay, so once again, pretty close to paying off that 12.5 grand investment. And then we had the 33 Langstroth, so it produced 5,916 litres of honey for the 12 months and made a return of 19,670. Okay, so basically, rule of thumb is this 33 Hive Langstroth will produce 1 pallet basically per day. Okay, so basically, best course of action, if you can afford it, is to place a couple of these big ones down, because you're going to get a nice even distributed pallet each month, or each time you cycle through a game day, whether that's a 1 day month or whatever. You're going to end up with a pallet. So basically, the more of these that you have, the more full pallets you're going to get every day. So you can stockpile them either in the bale and pallet storage, which we've got here. So this is a base game item. You find it under under buildings, under silos, and it is the bale pallet storage, 250 pieces. So it'll store 250 pallets of whatever you want. Okay. Now there are some bee/honey mods that you can get. So if we go over into productions, if we go into animals, go into bees, I've got one installed which I quite like. So it's 15,000. It's the Beehive honey pallet location. So what this does is it just gives you a larger, so you can see, I'll just place it down so we can see. Actually, no, we can't place it down. So you can see the yellow and black cross-hatching line, so that's where your pallets will spawn. So basically it gives you nearly 4 times the amount of pallet space, and it also double stacks the honey pallets to give you more storage. Okay, and then you've got a delivery point and an interaction point as well. But we can't place this down because we already have our one spawn point, which is 1 per farm. Okay, so that is pretty much all you really need to know about honey. So basically, what can you do with the honey? So you can either sell it directly. So we'll go have a look at the prices menu quickly. So you can see here we've got honey for sale at the cereal factory, the fast food restaurant, Goldcrest Valley. Let's have a look at the price fluctuations. So it reaches a peak of 3,375 and a low of 2,772. So this is on base game easy settings. So the different economic difficulties will lower the price accordingly. But basically 3,375 in March is the best price for honey. Now you can take honey and turn it into cereal in the base game, and there are other production mods out there that will take honey and turn it into other things, but in base game, the cereal factory, which is located on Elm Creek over here, so near the baseball field, off the highway, sort of in between this sort of section here, is the cereal factory. So the cereal factory will take honey, and then along with other inputs will create cereal. Okay, so there you go. So there we have it, everything you need to know about bees in Farming Simulator 22. If you've got any questions, leave them below in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one, and bye for now.